I don't want to keep anybody waiting. We do need him here to be sworn in. All right, I've got 6:30. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. And have a roll call.
Travis Kramer.
Here.
Scott McCorney.
Here.
Jeremy Hansen, Jason Weesey.
Here.
Paul Kraus.
Here. The Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall. Item 4, consent agenda. We want to go over these A, B, C, and D. A first? Or do you want them all at once?
It'll just all be one vote.
Okay. Does anyone see anything we need to consider separately? If not, then
Refresh my memory on the Arlington Public Schools and that liquor and tobacco license, how that works again.
Every year per state statute, they get, the fees we collect for liquor and tobacco licenses remitted back to them.
All right.
John, they completed the foam installation. It is. Looks good. Good.
It's all different. We don't even have a heater in there either.
Good.
Good.
The truck bed and the salt spreader turned out all right.
So far.
On the tuition reimbursement, Kate, can you make sure that Jake knows that we want to see an official transcript
Oh,
reimbursement next time?
for the
When-
last season.
Yeah, for the ones, yeah.
Can we request a copy of that prior to payout?
Mhm.
Just, we can approve it, but just make sure we have a copy of it on hand.
Mhm.
Because I think we had a criteria
Well,
for,
this is just saying that we'll pay for these classes that he's gonna complete, that he will take, right?
oh,
These aren't ones that he's completed. These are ones that he's gonna take, right?
Correct, yeah.
my mistake.
Please.
Okay,
So we have to, so that way
yep, gotcha.
they know that we will approve it if they get the grade or whatever. Yeah.
That's a screen.
Anyway, I can see it on the TV.
Sometimes if you unplug the HDMI and plug it back in, I've had that happen before.
Oh, no.
Did it take care of it for you?
Nope. That's okay.
Stretched her as. I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as presented. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy or Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 5, unfinished business. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 1021-2024, adoption of 2024 comprehensive plan update.
I don't have any other updates on there. I think we just need a planning commission to look at the land use section.
To get the map
And really
updated.
nail that down. It's just kind of where it's at.
Do we recommend to table this until the new planning commission is in place?
I think that's.
All right.
We still have a list of potential candidates for the planning commission. Has anybody stepped forward yet or?
I haven't had anybody come forward, but
All right,
I have an idea.
right.
Not a full planning commission, but I have an idea.
All right, item B. Steve, can you help us waste any time on this while we're waiting?
Oh,
Those are the
Possible
engineering.
approval of water tower communication.
so,
Anything you saw in those that you can explain to us on?
no, so had, Kate sent a copy of the plans and then there was a report from a structural engineer. And so we had one of our structural engineers just look at it.
Mhm.
He didn't see anything wrong with
Okay.
what was being proposed, especially since they had a structural engineer look at it. So, yeah.
What they were telling us
Like
is
the
that,
basic- I'm sorry, go ahead.
go, no, you finish.
I was gonna say, it looks like they're taking some antenna off and putting some
Yeah.
rock up and so.
From what we had heard earlier, it sounded like some of them would be smaller. Didn't look like there would be any bigger equipment, so.
Right, but the structural engineer that they hired said that it was all good, no problems with it, so.
Thank you for looking that over for us. We appreciate that.
Never bad to have another set of eyes like that.
Especially when none of us are experts on the subject. So,
Well, the thing is, you don't know,
Yeah.
what's all involved when they are gonna put antenna
Yeah.
and change some things out like that, what's that gonna look like, right? So.
I just remember seeing one of these reports in years past that said that we were at 90% capacity with some of the bolts that were holding things up. And so I want to make sure if we're adding something that an engineer has looked at it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So. You know,
I'll make a motion to approve the Fourth Amendment to the Water Tower Communications Site Agreement with Verizon Wireless.
Second,
we have a motion and a second for the approval of the Fourth Amendment to the Water Tower Communications Site Agreement with Verizon Wireless. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 6, adjourn, sign, die. We can't go forward without our board member that we're waiting on. He was delayed by a school event. So, he promised me he'd be here within the next 8 minutes, so. It doesn't say when we have to start the reorganization meeting, so. I guess we can adjourn, sign, die and wait.
Yeah.
Apologize for anybody that's waiting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment, sign, die. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer.
aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. I was telling some of the other board members about our meeting with government class. Anybody that was in government class for my presentation that had anything they'd like to share that they thought was interesting? That they learned?
It's
Bonus points, we'll tell Mr. Alstrom.
I was telling these guys that it's interesting for me listening to the questions that you guys come up with. And you guys do come up with some thoughtful questions. it's the reason I keep coming back and doing it. So it was fun for me.
It was Brom Lindell, Freeman, Katie, Lester, Latour. They were the only ones that responded, or
There's another,
is there another one in here?
yeah, after their proposal is,
Okay.
an email.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Go. Perfect timing. We'd run out of things to talk about. Well, if anyone wants to talk dive, that's all. Okay. So we start out with the reorganization of the village board, item 7. We'll call the meeting to order. Same as before with a roll call. Okay. Let's do the oath of office for the re-elected incumbents. Thank you for being patient, Jeff.
Gentlemen, you ready? All right, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Scott Morning,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Nebraska.
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Nebraska. Against
all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely without mental reservation and not for the purpose of evasion.
That I take this obligation freely without mental reservation and not for the purpose of evasion.
And that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office of a member of the Village Board of Trustees of Arlington, Washington County, Nebraska.
And that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office of member of the Village Board of Trustees of Arlington, Washington County, Nebraska.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
According to the law and the best of my ability.
And that I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I a member of any political party or organization that advocates for the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence.
And I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence.
And that during such time as I am in this position, I will not advocate nor become a member of any political party or organization that advocates for the overthrow of the government of the United States or this state by force or violence.
That during such time as I am in this position, I will not advocate nor become a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or this state by force or violence.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
We should have worked on that one, Scott.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to memorize it all week.
Guy who has all kinds of songs. I could do this
Yeah.
easily.
Write a song about it.
Yeah, just put it to some.
Gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
you.
Yeah, you as well, thank you.
Okay, now we can move ahead with the roll call.
Scott McCorney,
Here.
Jeremy Hansen.
Here.
Jason
Aye.
Weasel, Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item D, appointment of Village Board of Trustees Chairman. I would like to nominate Travis Kramer for the Village Chairman.
Second.
Someone needs to make a motion. Okay.
Once we adjourn, signed, I thought anybody could make.
Anybody should be able to, yeah.
Great, sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Let's vote on that motion.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasel.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Oh, abstain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
It's okay. Still vote for yourself. Yeah.
Do we want to switch seats for the rest of the meeting?
Let's just keep sitting.
Okay.
Keep going.
Well, I'll hand it over to you from now on.
Okay, well, I'll give it my best shot. Item 7E, appointment of Village Board of Trustees Vice Chairman. I'd like to motion, or can I can't make a motion, but I would recommend that I see Paul Kraus take that role, as he'll be very instrumental in helping me move forward in my duties.
I'll make a motion to, go for it. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I'll make a motion to appoint Paul Kraus as the Village Board of Trustees Vice Chairman.
I'll second that.
Kate, we have a motion. We have a vote.
Jason Weasel.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Abstain.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen. Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item eight A, discussion of possible approval of appointing street superintendent. Motion to appoint Stephen A. Parr from GEO Consulting Group Incorporated, license number S859, Class A, as a street superintendent for January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Kate, we have a motion and a second. We have a vote.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasel.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. We have a vote. What's my wording on this? I'm sorry, I'm still. Paul, how should I be saying this?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm a little clunky on, once the vote's been given, I should.
Then we can move on. And she's
Okay.
recorded the vote
Mhm.
and we can move on to the next item.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm sorry.
No, I'm
I
just.
was trying to go ahead.
Item 8B, discussion and possible approval of reappointing JEO Consulting Group as the village engineer for January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
8, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a vote?
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasel.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Do you have a vote and approval?
Thank you for voting.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 8C. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 12162024A, appointment of village departments. Looks like we have one blank on there, the village attorney. And then, of course, our department commissioners, if there's any thought of changing those duties.
Can we leave that blank until our discussion? And then add that?
For the attorney,
Yeah.
you guys will just decide with this resolution.
Can you give us your recommendation, Kate, based off of like what other city clerks have said?
I mean, the two that I have there, I've heard good things from both.
Good.
I've not heard anything negative.
Good.
You,
Griffin or Farnham and Griffin, they're the attorneys for Valley. I've not heard anything negative about that. Wendell Freeman. They, are municipal attorneys for several other, Wahoo and I've also heard good things. Farnham and Griffin, they just bill 185 per hour. I asked if how they bill, I guess, for like emails of like routine nature, basic document review, and like if I were to call, like for a 10-minute phone call once a month. And she just said that it is just 185 per hour. They just bill per hour.
So
So
they don't do the retainer thing?
no,
Gotcha.
the other one does have that retainer and includes emails, basic document review, and then like a 2-minute phone call a month. So
And to me, the retainer is probably appealing that we get all the basic stuff for free. Is that what you thought, right?
I think so too. I mean, with the
Yeah.
prior discussions, when we've asked our legal counsel to just review something, it'd be good to have that as available without worrying about if it's going to cost us 15 minutes.
So that would be Ron Lindahl, Freeman and Caddy and Loster.
Right.
But that's only, retainer's only covering 15 minutes per month.
I thought that retainer was all basic document review.
Well, I just know that
oh,
our previous practice has been that the phone calls have been covered
yes.
by retainers. Not necessarily the case based on it. This is more like what my day job is. So that's why I'm like, that's something that you're gonna want to definitely pay attention to. And then when I look at their amounts for charging per hour, 210 versus 185. I don't know how often they utilize their law clerk rather than actual attorneys for calls. That could be a factor too, and I don't know if they even have law clerks at the other firm. So that's something to keep in mind too. I don't know if the two proposals are necessarily apples to apples. It's more apples to oranges type of thing, so. It's just something to look at. That's why I was kind of curious as to what Kate's take was in terms of the relationship that other clerks may have with them. But if both of them are being utilized, then
right.
then it comes down to, with a new chairman, you might have more phone calls. More than 15 minutes a month.
Right.
Is just all I'm thinking.
Do we need to vote on that before we approve this resolution?
Yeah, so you'll have to appoint a village attorney will have to be in this.
Any thoughts? Any other comments? You want to make a motion?
I don't know.
Who uses Brown that's close by, do you know?
I had a list, Wahoo. I'm sure.
The NRD does.
Pull up his email.
The NRD does,
Yeah.
I think Charlie said that he works with them then.
$75.
Seem highly recommended.
Just law clerk stuff.
To review.
But normal review. Is covered under the retainer. Review all legal documents as to form as prevented by clerk. And that's a lot of what we do. 15 minutes per month, that's in there though, for the phone.
Jovan Loster, he had said, we handle quite a few villages, towns and NRDs, mainly in Dodge, Saunders, Butler and Cass counties, but represent others farther away. Provided they don't require us to attend every municipal meeting. Forward.
I'm fine with that. I just.
I like Ron in the sense that the retainer should cover some of the emails back and forth. Little stuff that
Normal months, I don't think we're gonna have any surprises. I think normal months we'll know what to expect.
Right. And then the other one at 85, right? One at 85 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell how
So if
many
it's 15 minutes, is it rounded up? Because I've been there before.
Yeah, they usually, but all the ones that I work with are all quarterly.
So. But I would be comfortable with Ron.
Do we need a
I'll make-
motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend Brom as our attorney for 2025 year.
We'll just include that in the resolution. When you make the motion to
Okay,
adopt the resolution, if that makes sense. When you read it, you'll read it village attorney.
with that.
Yep.
And this would be the time if anybody wants to trade departments. You've got somebody willing to trade.
I'm good with mine.
I'm good with mine.
I'm good.
Are you all?
I'm fine. I mean,
You went off the cemetery?
Great.
one off cemetery, we trade.
Yep.
I'll make a motion for resolution number 121620224A. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Arlington, Washington County, Nebraska. Appoint the following persons for the village department categories and department commissioners as follows. Village Departments, Depository Bank, RVR Bank, Village Auditor Sharon Hammerland, Village Attorney Brom, excuse me, Brom Lindell, Freeman, Katie, and Luster. Village Clerk Treasurer Kate Robertson, Village Emergency Manager Daniel Douglas, Village Engineer JEO Consulting Group Incorporated, Village Street Superintendent Stephen Parr, Village Physician Dr. Matthew Manino, Village Newspaper Arlington Citizen, Village Streets and Parks Commissioner John Rosenthal, Village Cemetery Sexton Trevor Ganuzzi, Department Commissioners Water Sewer Travis Kramer, Paul Kraus, Cemetery Scott Picorni, Jeremy Hansen, Streets Jason Weesey, Paul Kraus, Police Jason Weesey and Scott Picorni, Parks Travis Kramer and Jeremy Hansen.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Resolution 121620224A. Can we have a vote?
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott Picorni.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Resolution 121620224A was approved and adopted this date. Item D, discussion of possible approval of resolution 121620224B, signing of the year-end certification of city street superintendent 2024.
So this resolution gives the chairman authority to sign the year-end certification of the city street superintendent, and then we file that paperwork with the state for highway allocation.
Do we still need to read the resolution in full? I'll make a motion to approve resolution 121620224B, signing of the year-end certification of city street superintendent 2024. Whereas the state of Nebraska statutes section 39-2302 and 39-2511 through 39-2515 details the requirements that must be met in order for a municipality to qualify for an annual incentive payment. And whereas the state of Nebraska Department of Transportation requires each incorporated municipality must annually certify by December 31st of each year the appointments of the city street superintendents to the NDOT using the year-end certification of city street superintendent form. And whereas the NDOT requires that each certification shall also include a copy of the documentation of the city street superintendent's appointment, i.e. meeting minutes showing the appointment of the city street superintendent by their name as it appears on their license, if applicable, their license number, if applicable, and class of license, if applicable, and type of appointment, i.e. employed, contract, consultant, or interlocal agreement with another incorporated municipality and or county. And the beginning date of the appointments, and whereas the NDOT also requires that such year-end certification of city street superintendent form shall be signed by the mayor or village board chairperson and shall include a copy of resolution of the governing body authorizing the signing of the year-end certificate of the city street superintendent form by the mayor or village board chairperson.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second for resolution 12162024B. Unless there's any other comments, let's call for a vote.
Jason Macy.
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Motion for resolution 12162024B is approved and adopted this date. Item 8E, discussion with Arlington Fire Department regarding use of the community room. Dan, I'm guessing that's why you're here?
I'm here. As you guys know, if you visited the fire station in the last couple of years, we are wall to wall with equipment, which has kind of taken up what we used to use for our training areas and our meeting areas. We've been utilizing the community room at your gracious whenever we need to meet or whatever. But would like to entertain a discussion on using the community room on a full-time basis and what that would cost the fire department to use it as on a full-time basis. In a ideal situation, that would include the kitchen and the two small bathrooms. So basically the edge of the auditorium proper to the east would all become part of the fire hall, if you will. On an annual basis, we could explore it every year to see if it's working, not working. I know there's a lot of people that do sometimes use that kitchen that's connected with the community room when they rent the auditorium. I'm not going to get into whether that's part of the auditorium rental or not. That's none of my business, but if it was something where the fire department did get that whole area and there was somebody that really, it would make or break the auditorium rental if they didn't get that second kitchen, we could certainly work that out on a per cases, but just a discussion, thought process. I'm not expecting any kind of answers tonight, any final conclusions or anything tonight. I'm guessing you're still getting some revenue off of that room. I know it's rented some. I don't know how much it's rented, but just food for thought that if the board would be considered to, entertain, like I say, the fire department using it on a full-time basis and what that cost to the fire department would be.
Kate, do you have any idea on the revenue that it brings in a year?
Yeah, it's like 2,500 to 3,000 a year.
You don't think it would be a big problem to share that extra kitchen?
If it's my personal thought, if it's like AYS or a local group or the church, if they need it for something they're doing, that's one thing. If it's an out of town group that's coming in, it would really be, depending on who it is and what they're doing. Part of my thought process is we could go in there and clean it up a bit, maybe put in a big refrigerator like in the other kitchen. One of the two ranges, the door doesn't shut all the way on. It has it for a couple of years. So we could go in on the fire department's expense and clean it up a little bit, do some improvements to it. So as those improvements progress, I think we'd be a little more, touch and go, if you will, as to who would use it. But like I say, certainly if it's a group that the whole auditorium rental would make or break off of that other kitchen, then we would certainly work with Kate and the village to make sure that the rental happened. But
Kate, how often does that occur where they require both kitchens for the auditorium room?
Right, like the bigger fundraisers, they use it. If it's a bigger like wedding, they'll use it. So I mean, in like peak season, like May, June, July, it's booked out probably at least every other weekend.
They're using it as a bar mostly, aren't they?
Yes,
Okay.
right. They usually use that one for the bar and then the other for the food. Outside of like the summer months, it's not as frequent, like maybe once a month.
And that extra kitchen is always an additional rental cost over the auditorium, or is it a kitchen and community room together, or is that kitchen usually
Well,
included?
it's tricky. We can't stop people from going in there,
Yeah.
right? So like if they tell me they're not using the community room kitchen, okay, I'll charge you this amount. Well, they could use it. I don't know. So, you know, if there's nothing going on in the community room, like we'll let them know, you know, if you want both kitchens, nobody's in there, that's fine. But obviously if there's something in there, then we just tell them it's just the other kitchen. So it's really, that second kitchen is just available when it's available.
But in our contracts, it is extra to get that second kitchen.
They don't pay more, no.
Oh, they don't, okay.
Dan, your thoughts long term, is it to modify it, whatever, remodel it and then lock it up so it would not be accessible from the auditorium?
Long term, potentially, I mean, depending on how much we would put into remodeling the area, the biggest goal would be just the community room itself. So we've got, we've got TVs, we roll in and out at this point. We've got dry erase boards, we roll in and out at night, and it's kind of, without bothering Kate every week to see if somebody's in there using it, it's kind of a roll of the dice. If we open the door and nobody's in there, then we've
Right.
used it, I'm not gonna lie and say we haven't, but
Sure.
it just would make planning for stuff a little bit easier on our side if we just knew that room was ours. And to me, it was just drawing a line right across that wall of the auditorium. So like I say, the two small little restrooms that aren't handicap accessible or anything, since you've got the new restrooms attached to the auditorium now. To me, it's simpler to just take it right across that wall and just lock the roll-up door for that kitchen and the door that walk-through door to the hallway is usually locked anyway, unless they're renting the whole facility and they have access to that other kitchen. That would be the easy way to do it. I'm not saying that it's, we're not gonna make or break. If you guys come back and say, all you can have is a community room, that's fine. I mean, that's what we'll work with, but.
For me, the only thing I'm afraid of is losing appeal for renting that auditorium with that other kitchen. I would have no problems with community room, having you guys have full-time access to that. I don't know, what does everybody else think? Is that gonna be a deal breaker for people that want a big event, having that other?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit, I would think.
And I would hate to turn into something contentious when, when we're trying to decide who gets the kitchen and.
And I haven't even looked on the website, on your guys' website to see if that second kitchen is, I don't know if it's listed, pictured with the community room, if it's pictured with the auditorium, I don't know if it's even pictured on any of your propaganda. I didn't bother to look, quite honestly. And like I say, I mean, we're not really looking for an absolute decision tonight. It was just more of, throw it out there, let you guys mull it over. I didn't expect Kate to have numbers already, so that's great that you've got numbers to do it already. But. And it's not like, we're not out there to take that revenue from the village either. So I mean, if it would cost us $3,000, that's what I'll take back to the department that, this could cost us $3,000 a year for this extra space.
Do we have any rentals scheduled right now?
There are,
Up until when?
but we did look and, I think all maybe there's a couple exceptions, but the auditorium is open that day when most people are in the community room. So we just suggested like, well, we could offer them the auditorium space for the same amount since they already have the community room booked.
We're talking less than a dozen or something.
Yeah, a handful.
If it's something that, for the next 6 months until we catch up to how far Kate's got rented out, that we, are back and forth where we know when, Kate can send us a list or Jeremy can get a list or whatever, when we need to be moved out of the community room to accommodate rentals that you already have. I mean, we're certainly not trying to, push anybody out or make it any more difficult for anybody.
Any other comments? No motions this time? We'll,
We table it till.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of on the agenda as a discussion point, so. If you
Jeremy?
mull it over till January.
You and I want to sit down and go over it as.
January, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Jeremy, you and I want to go over it as the Parks and Rec, review over some of the options and maybe talk about a recommendation to the board.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's great.
Dan will do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8F, discussion and possible approval of request from T-Mobile to proceed with maintenance and modifications on tower at 24-145 Turkey Ridge Lane.
This, I also sent over to the attorney. Steve, I can't remember if, I'm fairly certain this was another one I sent to you. I sent this one to the attorney. They are just replacing what's there. Nothing's getting bigger or anything really, so it was pretty straightforward, and T-Mobile's they're working under US Cellular, which we have the lease with. And so it was US Cellular's, my understanding, US Cellular's request that they gain permission from us to do what they need to do there.
Is this replacing equipment or adding equipment?
I was under the impression it was.
From what I remember seeing, I think there was some ground-based equipment in that shack, right? That, or the fenced-in area. That, have you seen any of these plans, John?
Right.
Okay. It looked to me like they were taking out something in that chained-in area and replacing something, and then install an antenna array to the existing cell phone tower.
Oh, this is not the water tower. This is on the other
Right.
tower.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
We'll make a motion that we approve the request from T-Mobile to proceed with maintenance and modifications on the tower and equipment at 24-145 Turkey Ridge Lane.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for possible approval of request from T-Mobile to proceed with maintenance and modifications on tower at 24-145 Turkey Ridge Lane. Unless we have any other comments, let's have a vote.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Lisa Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 8G, streets, Paul Kraus and Jason Weesey. Any comment on the report, committee report?
We've got some numbers to forward to Mike about times with our new radar signs that we could see some more enforcement if we could get it maybe. So we'll go over that a little more down here. But other than that, we didn't have anything to report. You want to put the report up?
Or do you want
G8.
Sean to go first? Read the budget.
Yeah, go ahead.
The normal, pretty much, we did, with the streets project, we have pretty much everything completed on that. I think that, I don't know about the payout, we had talked about holding some back just for the seating on some of the areas. They ran into some issues with the ground being frozen and not being able to get it perfect, so I talked to Jason from JEO. I think he was gonna possibly hold something back on that, so we could get them back in the spring to take care of that problem. Other than that project's pretty much completed. We did get the school parking lot straightened out. I haven't heard anything from them, have any of you, so I think they're happy with that for now.
The grading's done?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they came in. Last Wednesday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, did that and found there was a water valve that got taken off, the sleeve got taken off, and they did repair that too while they were here. Other than that, it's just the normal winter stuff, trying to cross our fingers, no snow. That little ice storm got us pretty hard the other night, but I think that Taylor got up pretty early on Saturday morning and got out, so it was kind of a mess. He said he had a rough time getting around town, but he got it done, so.
Good. Anything else for John? All right, item 8C, 8GC. Radar sign report.
So I had emailed you these data tables, and then included a couple reports in the, packet. I guess the main things, to note or look at, so, you'll notice a lot of it is like average speed and then peak speed. So the average speed, is determined, they ping the car 5 times, as it's driving up. And so they get an average from that. You want to compare the peak speed to the average speed. So might be better to look at, the summary table, this one, it's in the packet. You can see, so like peak speed, we'll look at I'm looking at the Sixth and Bell, summary table and speeders going over 15 miles per hour, so it was 16. And then if you look at the average speed for speeders going over 15 miles per hour, it's 6. So 10 people saw the sign and slowed down, and so their average speed decreased, so only 6 continued to have an average speed above 15 miles per hour. Meaning they saw the sign and slowed down, so it worked. And so it seems that the trend is that the peak speed is significantly higher than the average because people see the sign and slow down. So there's that. And then the daily 85th percentile speed. So that is the speed that people feel comfortable driving at if there were no road signs. So if there was nothing, like that's how fast, like 85% of people are driving that fast up to that sign. So at least for Sixth and Bell that I'm looking at, like 35 miles per hour seems to be typical for this set of data. And then there's the daily average speed. This data table has a lot more information. You can see, I'm actually gonna look at this. Sorry, my computer's not working, I'm looking at this. But you can look at like peak speeds at what time people were going. So this one's Dodge and Bell. People don't tend to fly as fast on this one, or this area, but you can see peak speeds and then compare times. And you can also look at the number of violators to the number of vehicles. So, you know, there was 169 vehicles that drove by at 7:45 a.m. Only 19 were, what? That's what it says, right? And 19 were going at least 1 mile per hour over. So interesting. Once we have like a full month's worth of data, I think we'll really be able to tell peak times. But there's a lot of interesting things to look at here.
Is that data for every day at 7:45? So 169 across.
Yes, it would be. And I think this is for a week. I think this is 12:05 to 12:11.
I
Gotcha.
think they're 15-minute increments.
And they are, yeah.
That bucket,
Mhm.
okay.
Let's see, the 6th Street. So the fastest I had seen was somebody went 77 miles per hour. Past the one down on 6th. And there's a 67 mile per hour peak speed. So people are speeding definitely on 6th and Bell area. You can see all these peak speeds.
Unless it's our law enforcement
Maybe.
rushing somewhere.
So that's kind of the overall look, but I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. So we have 4 months worth of, a lot more.
Mike, do you want these reports forwarded to you, or do you want us to just summarize them?
Once we go over them and
Okay.
set some key times when we could be doing selectors in front of you. If you don't mind emailing
Mhm.
to me,
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
I think that other one that you sent us separately might be the one to send them to. Cause that one, when I was looking at that, that's the one where it broke down, looked like
That's-
between
Day,
seven
week, and
to 7:45. Bell Street and Dodge would be a good spot to park.
Is it the summary or this data table or
The
one of the ones in the packet?
no, the ones that were separate Excel documents that you sent us. So like.
Is this not the one? Oh,
The one, they're not in the packet, the ones that.
okay, so I sent this as an Excel in the, that email? Yeah. It's,
Look different than that one, but that's.
oh,
I know which one you're talking about. It had days and all.
Bad days and
Days and hours.
hours.
and it's not that, I don't know. Those are the only ones I sent, so I'm not sure, I guess.
Any other comment?
It's good to see some data.
Well, seeing that 77 number sure reinforces some of the community comments about some concerning speeds. Item 8G D, discussion of possible approval of proposal for drainage study provided by GEO. Steve.
Okay. Excuse me. I think you all had a copy of the open services for this. So Patrick Parkman met with John quite a few months ago this summer to look at the 3 locations. And if you look at I think it's the last page of the agreement, there's 3 locations on that map. One is at Elkhorn and Ellsworth Street. There's a some condition there where when there's significant rain events, the water pools there for quite a while. Location 2, that is along the railroad. I believe there's a culvert underneath the railroad. Is that right?
There is, but it's, I think that the intention would be to see if we need another culvert.
Right.
Yeah.
To look, just
There
water
is.
back.
And the other one, the one that's there needs some attention.
Yeah.
Yep. Then the last location is on, there's a drainage ditch on the north side of town that parallels the Katy Drive. Once again, it's a drainage channel that gets overwhelmed from time to time. So basically each one of those locations, we do a drainage analysis, gather some field data, run out there's some storm water or storm sewer hydraulic modeling at each one of those locations. We'd review that, look at a 2, 10-year, and 100-year event, and then put together a technical memo with some recommendations, cost opinions. Excuse me, and then come to a village board meeting and review those with you. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. We broke down each one of those locations as far as the cost to do each one. So I think Patrick wasn't sure if you wanted to approve all or 1 or 2, so that's why I broke it out that way for you. So.
Thought we budgeted enough for all 3, didn't we? Yeah. I'll make does anybody have any more questions before I make a motion?
No, I think it's all necessary.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for drainage study provided by.
So in this, though, it does not include any design work, any, like, it's just a, yes, you need to fix the drainage, or no, you don't.
This is what we think that it'll take to do it, right? You know, so for example, the first location, is it like, okay, here's what happens when it rains, the ponding area, and like, okay, how do we address it? Does there need to be another storm sewer pipe built or inlets bigger, whatever that is, right? Like, this is the fix. And then if you want to proceed, then there'd be an agreement for designing whatever the fixes are.
Paul, do we need a total amount in your proposal or motion?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for the drainage study as provided by JEO in the amount of $25,510 for all three locations cited.
I'll second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second for approval of the drainage study by JEO. Can we have a vote?
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
No.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 8E, discussion of possible approval of quote for removal of trees related to street project.
Got three quotes in front of you. One local, two from the Fremont area. My recommendation would be with the local contractor. For the $50 more than the Fremont contractor, just because he's a local contractor. That's up to you guys though. And this is substantially lower than what the contractor doing the work on the streets had quoted JEO that they could do it for. So I really think that they just kind of wanted to be out of here at that point. So I think that, geez, I can't remember.
I think their bid for 2 trees was higher than any we have for all 3.
200 or something, yeah. So
And this tree is in the,
this is
tree
the
on
one
8th Street that we
That
discussed.
last board meeting, the lady was zoomed in and that one, and then there's 2 others that we had agreed need to be taken out
Okay, this is all 3 then.
earlier. One was due to the sewer project in conjunction with the street project, and the other one's in between 2 driveways. I think I showed, can't remember who I showed, Paul and Travis, I do believe. That basically needs to come out because of grading issues. The other 2 are gonna be a structural issue on the tree.
Do we not need to do stump removal on the willow?
There's stump removal on all of them.
Well, I think he has a typo on that maybe.
Yeah.
Because he has 8th Street tree removal, 8th Street willow tree
He
removal.
has a typo.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
He does. He has tree removal mentioned
Twice, yeah.
It's supposed to be stump removal,
okay.
clean up and backfill.
Is there a timeline on any of these?
I told him ASAP if it gets approved. I'm gonna assume they're gonna do it during the winter, just so they can get into the properties without damage, and there's no leaves on the trees, it's just a lot easier.
And Endras, we don't know if it's stump removal or they.
It is,
It is.
I did
Okay.
contact him, and he said that does include stump removal.
Any other comments? Anyone want to make a motion to approve one of the bids?
$50, keeping it local, it shouldn't matter, huh?
Go ahead. Make a motion.
All right. Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the bid for the 3 tree removals in conjunction with the street project from J&R Landscaping in the amount of $5,550 even.
Second,
Kate, we have a motion and a second for approval of the bid from J&R Landscaping in the amount of $5,550. Can we have a vote?
Jeremy Hansen,
Abstain.
Jason Weasey,
aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 8G F, discussion of possible approval of quote for new tires on 2018 Chevy Silverado pickup.
It's actually the 2024 Chevy Silverado. I think it was just misprinted.
Gotcha. Bid on the 2024. Looks like we
I've
have,
looked over the bids, they're all identical tires. So we can go with. We can go with whatever you guys think on the price, because we're all apples to apples. Countryside Repair is confusing. Does he have two bids, one with a credit card and one without?
No, I don't know what they're, no, that's just. That's what I got. I couldn't get it any other way. It's the 740.34 is what the price is.
It's the total.
But the bottom line says 697.12.
Where do you see that? I don't know. Yeah, that's the last page is right here.
On the third page.
740.34 is.
Okay.
Well, there's a credit card fee. I don't know why he's got that on there. I don't know if you can subtract the credit card fee. I have no idea.
He charges a credit card fee if you go down there and use the credit card.
If you use the
If
credit,
you use the credit card, he does it, tap it.
so you could take the $18.82 off probably. Which is not gonna bring you to the,
But the 740 is what the circle though, right? 740 through.
well, you have a hazardous waste and a shop supplies on there too.
Yeah.
And you could take the credit card fee off probably. But the others you cannot probably.
So
The credit
so
card
we would
fees on.
assume his bid is 740.34, right?
Which is
On
still
the
the
safe side,
lowest.
it's still the
Yeah.
lowest.
It's still the
Yeah.
lowest. I guess you could say not to.
You could say no more than, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Countryside Repair, not to exceed the amount of $740.34.
I'll second that motion.
Kate, we have a motion and a second for approval of the quote from Countryside Repair in the amount of $740.34, not to exceed.
Not to exceed $740.30. I think Kate, does that, when you're budgeting for that, that gets divided between the parks, streets?
Yeah, it gets split.
Okay.
Can we have a vote?
Jason Weasey,
All right.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item G, discussion of possible approval of proposal for asphalt repairs provided by JEO. Steve.
This did not get included in your packet, so I handed out a copy. And so if you want to turn to, it's the third page. That's the scope of services. So what this is to, if you recall, we had pavement course taken on First Street from Highway 30 to Bell Street, and then also on Bell Street from St. Paul Road to First Street. So that's been done just to see how thick the existing asphalt is. When looking at First Street, I think you all know what the condition of that roadway is. There's some areas I would say of concern. And so the thought is, let's get ahead of the game here and let's identify those spots that would potentially might need repair this next year. Let's get that quantified so we know what we're talking about. We're not in a position where in the spring, it's like, whoa, we got to go out and do this. Let's get some bids, whatever you decide. But at least we're going to identify those areas. The other thing it's going to do for us, it's like, okay, if we do all these repairs, what's the cost, right? Like, what are we looking at? And could we potentially in the future, if we do those repairs, is there an option to upgrade that road with like an asphalt overlay in the future? Or is it like, whoa, this is getting way too expensive? We're gonna have to just tear it out and redo it at some point in time. So that's the options we're gonna look at on First Street. And then on Bell Street, that is the asphalt roadway isn't in bad condition, but there's all those transverse cracks. You drive through those bump. So it's like, well, let's look at that and quantify that too and see what that would take. Just to see, for example, if you decided to do that repair work on First Street, then like, let's take care of that too at the same time, or at least have that option. So that's what this would be, and this would be design, Jeremy, to get to a design, and then we would hold, and if you decided to want to move forward, then we could go out for bids on. So very similar to what we did on previous repair projects. Identify the areas, put this on aerial imagery, and then quantify what cost it will be. I may be mistaken, but I believe we gave you this cost and you may have budgeted for this as well. Doesn't mean you have to spend. We did, I believe we did, so.
And the total fee is 14,500?
Yes.
Do you remember when we did that study? You recall when they did the core
Pavement
samples? Do you remember? Was it before? It was before this last flood, was it not?
Yeah, it was in October of 2023.
Is that gonna,
I think it was after.
That was
is
after.
that gonna change anything? Do you think?
No.
Your opinion?
No.
Since the road was underwater? I just didn't know.
The main reason we did those pavement, well, two things we did the pavement corners, like, okay, how thick is this, right? And then also it's like, what does this look like in the future for maybe doing like, can we do a patching project overlay, or is it like a reconstruction? That's why we.
I didn't know if the running water affected anything in the study. Okay.
Actually, for the core study, we found that there was big differences in how the thickness is.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely a range of.
And then those probably prevented us from doing an overlay at that time, didn't we? Kind of figure that from looking at those numbers, or
Well,
remember that?
yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, well, like I said, in my opinion, Bell Street isn't that bad. First Street's more, there's just so many areas that are gonna require patching. And it's like, let's get that quantified so we know what we're talking about, because patching is not, it's costly to go in and patch. So it's like, is that what we want to do in the future if the time comes to that, or it's like, no, let's not do that.
Getting in front of asphalt repairs has seemed to have been proven to be exceedingly difficult. It
It's
seems
not
like it's harder and
it's
harder to
not,
find people to do it.
real desirable work. The asphalt contractors, they want to lay asphalt on the highways or big asphalt projects. I don't like, not the same situation, but it's like the tree removal thing. Contractor did the paving project, they wanted to pour concrete, right? They don't really want to deal with trees unless they have to, right? So, yeah.
I like the idea of getting in front of this now, in my opinion.
Well, I will say, at least it appears from this last fall, we'll see what happens this spring. I think the bidding climate on construction work, costs have kind of dipped some. So I think that's maybe because, I don't know, I think some of the contractors have worked through that backlog that was there. And so we're just seeing more bidders on projects and, under budget too. So that may or may not play into this.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for asphalt repairs, design bidding and negotiation as provided by JEO in the amount of 14,500.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposal from JEO for asphalt, or the proposal for asphalt repair. Can I have a vote?
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Aaron Hanson.
Aye.
Jason Lacy.
Aye.
Travis Grant.
Aye.
Travis, did you have anything else for me? I can sure stay if there is something.
I don't believe so. Anything else from the board?
Good. Thank you for the attendance and thank you for the agreement. We'll get going on them.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Item HA, People Service Report. James. It's new.
Let's see, sewer cleaning is finished for the year. They did get in after. Just had a few manholes they had to finish up that were in the street project. So that's done for the year. All the valves on the street project have been accounted for and they are working. So they found the one that they had removed on accident back. It's working fine. And then all the manholes and valves are all clean and unobstructed that were in the scope of work. So that's all I had on my report.
Let's see, Paul, we had a meeting with People Services a while back to review some the contract, the existing contract and forward, and there's been no decision or anything discussed on that. Anything else on the People Services report or our last meeting, Paul?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
So on this first one, I know we've discussed this 3-inch meter before. That's the meter for, there's a pit over there, White Feather. It's 51. One lady sprinkler system. I know we've discussed it before and you guys have said that you were gonna try to look into her, maybe changing her own piping so we could just get rid of that or that meter altogether. So I'm not sure if you guys want
So
to.
740 would be the price for us to put that meter in.
That's just for the meter.
That's the meter, yeah.
Yeah, and then,
So if we were to hire a plumber
yeah,
to get everything on her regular meter, we may or may not spend that much money and then we wouldn't have 2 meters going on for. So maybe we should have a plumber look at tying that together and see what that cost estimate would be.
is that something that you would like me to?
What do you think?
Is this something we can discuss with her? Do you know the resident?
I know her, yeah, we can talk to her
Maybe we
and
can
see.
just discuss options because
Maybe
there'll
we
also
should
be a
talk to
separate
her
meter
first
reading.
and make sure we know what's going on, make sure nobody else has a sprinkler on that. My understanding was it was gonna be a community sprinkler line and nobody else is using it. Maybe we should verify that with her before we go any further.
Seems like a good place to start and just
Yeah.
talk through it with her.
So we'll keep that number in our head for that meter.
Okay, the second quote's on there, that's for the flow meter for the sewers. We had discussed, we would really like to get 2 of those. Just be easier to monitor the flows in the sewer if we had a couple of them.
So we'd be able to measure before and after, looking for any penetration, anything coming in, groundwater or anything.
Correct.
And maybe pinpoint the spots that we're pumping more water to Fremont or whatever it is.
Yeah, we should be able to pinpoint the problem areas a lot easier. Instead of me just opening a manhole and looking in there. This way we'd at least have some data on what the flows actually are.
And that would be the $5,414 meter.
That's per meter, yes.
Yeah.
And I double checked that price today to make sure that's still good and that is still the price.
And it doesn't do us much good unless we have 2 of those to compare readings is what you're telling us.
Well, we could get one, but I would recommend getting 2.
Mhm.
And I think that's really close to what you guys budgeted.
Mhm.
I think you budgeted $10,000 to use for the sewers. So it's a little bit over your budget.
Do you know our rate, the charge we get from Fremont? What's the per gallon rate?
It's on the bill every month, but I don't know if that's,
There is there's a second page to that Fremont bill in the packet that I think has the
I think if you go back up to the payables, it'll be on the top there. You can get that exact number.
It's okay. I was just looking at like, say, May, June, July, when we have 4.5 million gallons and how long it'd take us to justify that cost if we could find a spot
Yeah,
that's got 1 million or 2 million gallons getting pumped.
we've had fluctuations of over $5,000 a month in our bills.
So it could pay for itself really fast.
Yeah, we could, if we could stop those fluctuations when it's raining. Yeah,
If we can find it.
Which I think this would definitely help.
well, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of flow meters from USA Blue Book in the amount of $5,414.40 times 2.
Second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the flow meters from USA Blue Book in the amount of 5,400
14.40.
$14.42 times 2. Can I have a vote?
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasel. Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Dennis Kramer.
Aye. Item E, discussion of possible approval of quote from McGuire to pressure wash water tower exterior.
I know that's something that we had discussed in the past as well, as getting the bottom part of that tank is pretty filthy. I know we've talked about getting it pressure washed. For some reason, McGuire Iron is the only people that want to get back to me and give me a quote, like the quote that I have. I don't know if you want to, this wouldn't be something that you would do until the springtime anyway. I don't know if you want to table it or if you want to approve it and get it on the schedule. I could keep trying to get a hold of other companies to see if somebody else could give us a bid, so we at least had something to compare.
No rush now. I mean,
Yeah, I prefer
Let's see if we can get
another
another.
one if we can.
I keep talking about a drone
Yeah.
power washing company. Maybe I'll get one started before spring. I don't know.
James, if you would try to get another bid or two on those.
Yeah, I definitely will. And then I'll get those meters ordered tomorrow. So we can come out here
Okay.
as soon as possible.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Later, sorry.
No, this is probably the best time.
Okay. I have a property on Fifth and Elm that James actually was at 2 weeks ago, a month or so, and they had abnormally high water bills for about 4 months or so this year. They've been consistent every month for about a little over 5 years, and in summer of this year, they went up drastically. With no real extra water use on my part. I had him come out and inspect the meter. I had a plumber come out and inspect for leaks. He inspected the meter. I think I talked to somebody that said that my water usage was 142,000 gallons. One of the cheaper months, which I don't think is possible. I know I don't even run a dishwasher, a sprinkler, a pool. I don't use water really, so I didn't know who I should talk to about how we figure that out, or if, and since I've brought it up, the bill actually went down to the normal price it's always been. This last bill I got was the same as I've ever got, but the last 4 bills before that were, you know, instead of $85, they'd be like $480, $440, you know, somewhere around that range.
So probably the first step for us is to follow the process like we should. We should get you on the agenda as a conversation if you're looking for questioning your bill or wanting to make adjustments. But we probably should get back with Kate in the office and work through that.
Okay.
That's probably the first step is if it can't be justified that it's wrong and be corrected, just if it's a clerical issue.
Right.
They can be resolved. If it's more than that, if you're asking for a different sort of help, then we can bring it back to the board. But probably need to get on as an official request to appear with the request so that we have a chance to prepare our agenda.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
How would I go about doing that? Just calling tomorrow or?
Yep. Give Kate a call and we can probably go with that route.
Okay, all right, I'll try to give you a call tomorrow.
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Thank you. Item I, police, Mike.
I have not. Yeah, there's something.
Thanks, James.
We got contract status.
Yeah, it's. I don't think any really
Been any more
concerns.
issues with that property on North Fourth?
Oh, the cleanup.
I think that's something we need to talk to our lawyer about. I mean, if we've already declared it a nuisance and they're doing things again that would be against the nuisance, we haven't identified these specific problems since they came up after the first ban. I don't know how we go about that. I wonder if that's a question for our new attorney. Maybe they can help us clarify some of that. I did notice driving around today that we should probably make another list of vehicles that are parked improperly and some other issues, yeah.
They did move that, one to the park in the front yard.
They did, that was moved the same day, that was, yeah. Thank you for your fast work on that. The red tag stickers seem to be pretty effective.
It stands out.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we've been needing to have a committee report. We just haven't got that scheduled yet, have we? Time
I think
permitting.
we're kind of waiting a little bit for the signs and see what the results were of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe after the first of the year.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let you know. We'll try to schedule something for a committee meeting.
Probably should have one sometime in January. First year.
Oh, one other parking committee. Our concern, last month we talked about that you do have direction to, they're parking in front of your doors. We put up the signs and everything. You still good with that or any concerns?
I've got bits and pieces from it, so I'll talk more with Jeremy later and actually get the correct verbiage on all that, but.
Just while Mike is here, I thought we had given Dan, the fire chief, approval to go ahead and call for a tow.
I thought we did too.
Yeah,
If Dan wants that.
It's whatever, I mean, it's gonna come down to who's gonna end up paying the tow, I mean, it's.
not us.
It's not us, it's the person who's getting towed.
The tow company is gonna get the car until it's paid.
We're doing that, just have a deputy.
Well, and that's
If they're not busy, they.
that's where we're running into it, is there's 100 things that are more pressing than coming over to deal with a car that's parked in the wrong place, and I understand that, I mean, there's a whole lot more going on in this county than somebody parking in the wrong place. And the likelihood of we needing those 5 spots for an emergency at the same time, but here again, I mean, when it's an all-night event where, you know, your odds go up proportionally the longer they're sitting there. If they're sitting there for 20 minutes, it's one thing, but if it's a 5-6 hour party going on in there and they're blocking them the whole time. But I don't know, I mean, the deputies have been using their discretion, I think, a lot to go in and try to get them moved instead of having to actually tow them, but I'm getting people from my department saying, you know, every week, it's a weekly event, it's not that, you know,
I'll put something else out again.
and I saw, I mean, you guys even have signs in the community room and in the auditorium, you know, with all the list of regulations for the building saying don't park in the red spots. I mean, we've got enough signs across there to,
yeah, there's no reason.
yeah, I mean,
My understanding was you have the authority to call dispatch and I have them.
yeah, and that's what we've been doing is calling dispatch, and then dispatch has been sending a deputy to come check it out before they're actually calling a tow, and 9 times out of 10, the deputies are being polite and going in and just telling the people to move. But here again, if, like I said, with as much stuff that's going on in the county, if and when the deputy gets over here is kind of.
Are you okay if he just asks dispatch to send a tow truck?
I am.
There you go. That'll work.
All right. Anything else on police? Mike, thank you.
Okay.
Item J, Parks Committee Report, Travis Kramer, Jeremy Hansen. Jeremy. You and I really haven't met anything. I guess we have some work to do on the auditorium. Community room.
Otherwise, we're slow.
Is there anything on the windows?
Nothing in the windows.
Hopefully.
Thanks, Mike.
General question, John, on the lamps that are out, the solar lamps, the ones that are out. What do you recommend? Do we leave them till spring and work on them? Do we?
Right now, we just don't get a lot of, they're solar, so the daylight.
Yep.
And I'd recommend waiting till spring and then repairing them, because we're gonna get more wind and stuff. We're gonna get more damage during the. And we didn't budget a lot for
Sure.
them this year. I think a lot of it's just batteries, which aren't cheap, but.
Right.
This spring, we'll take a good look at them, and maybe we've explored different options. I know you've looked.
Yep.
There's really not much, so
Okay.
we'll take a look this spring, get a hard look at
Wait
it.
till spring and see which ones are down and
See what it's gonna take to repair them. Well, I know there's probably, 15% of them that doesn't, that
Sure.
don't look like they work anymore, 10% maybe.
okay. Okay. Jeremy, anything else?
Still looking into plans for pickleball courts, maybe.
I have not heard back since my last request for info, but I will do that. I will follow up.
You ladies think that'd be a good idea, having pickleball courts in town?
Travis, I do have a couple of companies that rehab courts and stuff.
Oh, well, that'd be great because that's really,
They do rehabs on them and they resurface and they're pretty reputable companies. The problem I fear is I'm gonna have to ask them, is this aquatic rated? Because everybody knows they're underwater.
Yeah, that's true. We'll be scraping mud.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be my question to them.
okay. It'd be good to get an idea though on what the rehab cost would be. JB library report.
There's not.
We do not have a report.
I don't think they met this.
Okay. Okay, cemetery, Scott Corney, Jeremy Hansen.
You don't have it.
Yeah, I have nothing to report at this time.
Pretty quiet. Okay.
Really quiet.
So like John was maybe picking up some limbs and stuff like that, maybe. and-
Yeah, there's
Little stuff.
Some fall down. There's a few trees that I think maybe later this winter, I'll have a couple companies come out and see what's going on, because they're looking pretty bad.
Okay.
Getting rid of them.
All right. L, administrative Washington County Building Permit Report. No November permits for Arlington. Unless we have any other comments, move past that. Kate, clerk report.
Regular stuff, setting up that radar sign and all the software with that. So I figured it out, it's not too bad. I met with a gentleman regarding opportunity zones. I need a little more information, but essentially like Fremont has opportunity zones and it's areas that people can have a business there and there's different tax incentives and things like that. And so I was looking into if Arlington could have an opportunity zone to help economic growth. Still looking into that, but met a guy about that. Lots of wire transfers this month and got tobacco licenses renewed. And then I've also been meeting with people from EECS regarding our printing needs and then also our IT needs as well. And I think a couple of them are coming out tomorrow to take a look at some things. I've been working on that as well. But otherwise, a lot of just regular data stuff.
And to add to that opportunity zone, it's a place where a business can start. If they build within the opportunity zone or start a business in that zone, even if the incentives are within 10 years, they keep the business in place for 10 years. There's no capital gains tax on selling the business. So it's a really amazing incentive. And for example, the north side of Fremont is all in the zone and all the way through 30 up to almost the river is in that zone. So it comes up almost Arlington with stops, but it might be a neat opportunity to extend that through town.
Well, yeah, and when the opportunity zones were like first put in place, they determined all the areas in Nebraska that would have them, but they only selected like 25%. So if you like look at an opportunity zone map, ours just like it's the county line between Fremont and Arlington where it ends. So my guess is it continues. They just didn't select it this first round, but they're expanding it next year, early next year. So when they do expand it, we can put in an application with the state treasurer to request that we be included in that. And then it just gives us the opportunity to basically come up with incentives for people to put in businesses.
That'd be cool.
But
Great opportunity.
Still getting more information.
Any other questions on the clerk report? Okay. Item C, discussion of possible approval of quote from Mahoney Fire Sprinkler for 5-year inspection.
Is this who we've had done it before, John? Do you remember? Do you have any problems with it?
Is the one that the guy sent about for our sprinkler system?
Yeah, this is just that 5-year inspection that's due. That's not the,
This has never been
Last
done
thing.
before.
Okay, so it's a one-time inspection,
Inspection.
but it's due every 5 years.
He suggests doing it every 5
Okay.
years, correct, on our sprinkler system in this.
And it's required by the state to have it?
It is not required, but he just recommends it, highly recommends it.
Okay.
Have these people ever been here to look at our air compressor that goes with that system?
They've replaced it before. Are we?
This company?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're the same ones that they look at it every year, but they've never done this test,
Okay.
particular test.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from Mahoney Fire Sprinkler for a 5-year inspection in the amount of $690.
I'll second that motion.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve the quote from Mahoney Fire Sprinkler for a 5-year inspection in the amount of $680. Can we have a vote, please?
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item D, discussion of possible approval to send clerk and deputy clerk to NMCA Institute March 17th to 21st at a cost of $886 plus lodging and meal stipend. And Kate, you said this year they've moved the location?
yeah, it's in South Sioux City this year. It's always been in Kearney and then they did it in Columbus last year. I don't know. Right, so it's in South Sioux City. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the key things that you brought out of that training last time that kind of helped you in your?
Yeah, there's a lot, even just like little stuff like with our agendas and minutes, like I mean, there's so much information, but like little stuff with the agendas and minutes, I've noticed I gather a lot of like little stuff and implement it in daily. Even learning like just different state statutes, like I didn't know you were supposed to list all of your like annual subscriptions or anything that you like pay annually or memberships. You're supposed to list that on your website. Like, so stuff like that. And then there's bigger stuff too. Like they went over planning commission stuff last year, nuisance properties and just it's like, I don't know, such an overwhelming amount of information, but also a really good learning opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a big benefit. And covers the necessary credit hours for the state.
So that would be 17th to 21st. So we would close the office for that week?
The hours are only required of you though, not of.
Just one person in the office.
Cause I think originally when we had an assistant clerk, we had talked about the reason we wanted to have an assistant clerk was to be able to keep the office open when the clerk would go to things like this.
I think you're right.
I mean, I see the value in having them both go in terms of they can learn together, but I also think it's important to keep our office open during the week too. Maybe looking at our.
Publicity that we can train for too by sending them all.
Forward to you. That's your gun.
Yeah, no, our boss wants to go to email. I mean, the last 2 years that we've closed for the full week, I haven't had any issues.
Okay.
With people needing, I mean, if they need something, I've been able to address it. I don't think there's ever been an instance of like a moment of panic, of like, I can't help you.
Okay.
And do you still take phone calls during that week from the office? Yeah.
And we don't have to send both of us, but that's just what we've.
Kate, do you know of any other seminars, training that would be good for saying, if you went to this one and we sent Jake to something different at a different time?
There's a couple others. This one's just like, I don't know, so much information, like all the clerks, I mean, there's probably more clerks from the state together than aren't. I don't know, this one's just really beneficial, I think, but there's like a financial meeting. I don't know. There's the midwinter. I don't know much about others.
Sure. Thoughts, comments?
I'll make a motion to send both Kate and Jake to the conference.
I'm second.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to send both the clerk and deputy clerk to the NMCA conference, March 17th to the 21st. I guess lodging for a cost of $86 plus lodging and a meal stipend.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 9, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'm
Second.
waiting a long time to make.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for adjournment. Let's vote.
Jeremy Hansen,
Yes.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Perfect timing.